Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli has hinted that the nation could well brace up for another spell of lockdown if the recent rise in COVID-19 cases doesn't subside. Health experts have also warned of serious consequences given that newer variants of the dreaded virus have been detected in the country. In the given context, the next few weeks are going to be challenging in our fight against coronavirus. Good morning, I'm Abhyuday Shrestha and these are the headlines of the hour. 4 cabinet ministers of the incumbent government relieved of their parliamentary posts. The 4 ministers lose their ministerial positions. Rise in the cases related to the new variant of COVID-19 raises health alarms. Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli hints at another spell of lockdown. Russia warns it could intervene to help Russian-speaking residents in eastern Ukraine if Ukraine launches an all-out assault on separatists there. And Manchester United blank Granada 2-0 in the Europa League first leg quarterfinals. Arsenal and Slavia Prague settled for a 1-1 draw. 4 cabinet ministers of the incumbent government have been relieved of their parliamentary posts. Speaking during yesterday's meeting of the House of Representatives, Speaker Agni Sapkota announced that the 4 lawmakers who were elected from the CPN Maoist Center have been stripped from their posts as they had quit their party. Ministers Top Bahadur Raimaji, Lekhraj Bhatta, Prabhu Shah and Gauri Shankar Chaudhary have lost their ministerial positions while they have assumed various responsibilities at the ruling CPN-UML. Earlier on Tuesday, CPN Maoist Center Chairman Pushpakamal Dahal had informed the Parliament Secretariat that the 4 leaders had quit the party. Meanwhile, lawmakers of CPN-UML drew the attention of the Speaker to reshuffle parliamentary committees according to the party's strength, saying that it was impossible to work as members of erstwhile Nepal Communist Party are in the committees. Speaking during the House session, lawmakers from the main opposition Nepali Congress alleged Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli for avoiding the parliament meeting, fearing backlash from the lawmakers. Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli has warned that the government could impose another spell of lockdown if precautionary health measures are not followed strictly against COVID-19. Addressing the 70th General Assembly of the Nepal Chamber of Commerce in the capital yesterday, Premier Oli urged the public to strictly follow necessary health measures before the situation spirals out of control. Stating that neighboring India is in a serious health crisis with the increasing number of daily rise in COVID-19 cases, Prime Minister Oli warned that the government would be compelled to adopt strict measures if a similar situation develops in Nepal. Meanwhile, in another context, Prime Minister Oli claimed that projects that were left unattended by erstwhile governments are back on track and are gaining desired momentum. Premier Oli stressed on developing source and technology within the country and assured government support in easing hurdles in the industrial and trading sectors. Coronavirus infections have been increasing in the country in recent time. The Ministry of Health and Population has urged educational institutions to adopt preventive measures given the detection of coronavirus in school students. Some schools in urban areas have resorted back to online classes, while majority of the schools have been conducting in-person classes, disregarding the ongoing pandemic and the government's calls for preventive measures. The Health Ministry released a 10-point notice on Wednesday following the surge in COVID-19 cases. The ministry has urged everyone to remain cautious as the virus has been detected in school students in Kathmandu, Pokhara, among other major cities. In the meantime, educational institutions are not found to be adopting preventive health measures. Public transportation has stopped following health protocols as well, while government bodies have failed to regulate health protocols despite the rise in COVID-19 cases. Some academic institutions, especially inside the Kathmandu Valley, have still been operating online classes instead of in-person classes, fearing a surge in COVID-19 cases. Meanwhile, Paschimanchal Engineering College has become the latest example that defines how the infection can spread in an education institution through a single infected student. In the scenario, there is a high chance of families getting infected through students and leading to the spread in the entire community. Health experts opine that classes should be operated online in case educational institutions are unable to impose public health measures. The highly ambitious government projects have made no progress so far, even as Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli has been claiming of development strides. 3 projects, including operation of ships and railways and establishing the Valley Public Transport Authority, have remained stranded due to the lack of relevant laws. We have more in this report.
Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli himself took initiatives and established a separate Nepal ship office on 14th of February 2019. The highly ambitious project aimed to operate ship in the country's waterways, even as many questioned importance and relevancy of the project. However, the office has remained inactive so far, while employees of the office have spent 25 months without working, citing lack of laws. The concerned Ministry of Physical Infrastructure and Transport, meanwhile, has not even forwarded the draft bill proposed by the office. Likewise, the operation of the railway in Jainagar-Janakpur section is also a far cry, as the Railway Act is still under consideration in the Parliamentary Committee for just over a year now. Likewise, the government plan to develop an integrated transport system within the Kathmandu Valley is also in limbo, as the Valley Public Transport Management Authority bill is still stuck at a parliamentary committee of the National Assembly for the past 19 months. Both the executive and legislative bodies of the country are mired in bureaucratic hassles in moving ahead with related bills. Experts have opined that such approach questions the government's modus operandi in executing development projects, which have been given priority by the Prime Minister himself.
In our Public Voice segment, we had asked the local residents of Lumbini what has caused the decline in the population of migratory water birds. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
फोहोर मैलाकै कारण मान्छेले जति पनि ढलहरू छ निकासहरू छ त्यो सबै खोलामा लगेर फ्याँक्छन् जसले गर्दा पानीहरु चाहिँ पोल्युसन भएको छ त्यसकारणले गर्दा यी कारणहरुले चाहिँ जलपन्छीहरु घटेको अनुमान गर्न सकिन्छ
सिमसार क्षेत्रहरु कम हुँदै जानु त्यसैगरी विभिन्न प्रकारका विषादीहरुको प्रयोग बढ्नु र खेतीयोग्य जमिन मासिदै जानु चाहिँ यो चरा घट्नुको मुख्य कारण हो
विभिन्न ठाउँमा अकस्मात तालहरु सुक्दै जानु त्यो ताल बग्ने पानीहरु पनि सुक्दै जानु त्यो नै मुख्य कारण हो
पूर्वदेखि पश्चिमसम्म सबै ठाउँमा मानवीय चाप बढ्दै गएको चाहिँ एज अ मेजर कुरा चाहिँ हो
And it's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion. And here's the question. What's your take on the lack of relevant laws which has prevented big projects from moving ahead? Your options are A, indifference to development, B, forgetting too soon, and C, due to political crisis. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And that's all for the moment. Keep watching Kantipur Television HD for more news and entertainment. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.